Good morning, Wells Explorers. In honor of Women's History Month, I'm here to share with you a special book about Amelia Earhart, When Amelia Earhart Built a Roller Coaster by Mark Weekland. Amelia Earhart was different than other girls of her day. She loved action and adventure. Instead of wearing dresses while she played, she wore pants. She loved running along the bluffs near the Missouri River. And instead of dreaming of marriage and a family, Amelia dreamed of flying. Amelia Earhart became one of America's best known aviators. She was an inspiration to women everywhere. But she started out just like you, a fun loving kid. Amelia was born July 24th, 1897. Right from the start, she was pumping her little arms and legs. Her sister Muriel was born almost 2.5 years later. Because Muriel couldn't say Amelia, she called her sister Mealy. Amelia called Muriel Pidge. Both girls were tough and tumble tomboys. Their mother, Amy, encouraged their outdoor activity. I don't believe in bringing up nice little girls who only play with dolls and wear dresses, she said. She had blue gym suits sewn for them so they could race, jump, climb trees just like the boys. Amelia and Muriel did not care for dolls, but they each had their favorite toy. Amelia's was a wonder donkey. I'll call you Donk, she said. Muriel's favorite toy was an elephant named Ellie. Donk and Ellie followed the girls everywhere. Amelia always wanted to do what boys did. One year she asked her father for a football. He bought her two, one for each of his daughters. Throw one to Donk, cried Amelia as Muriel got ready to toss the ball. Like many children, Amelia and Muriel had active imaginations. Amelia thought up imaginary friends and imaginary horses. Amelia's imaginary horse was a palomino named Celadin. Muriel's horse was named Beelzebub. Most clever of all were Amelia's imaginary creatures. She called them DJs. When she misbehaved, she would blame the DJ for what happened. I don't know who ate the last piece of candy, Papa, she said. It must have been the DJs. One Christmas Amelia got a sled. At that time a girl's sled was like a chair. To ride it a girl had to sit up, but Amelia got a boy's sled, long and low to the ground. It will be perfect for belly wampin, she cried. At the top of the hill one day Amelia's belly slammed to get started, just like the boys. She zoomed down the hill. A horse drawn cart pulled right in front of her. In a split second, Amelia had slid between the legs of the horse. Amelia laughed. Had I been sitting up, either my head or the horse's ribs would have suffered in contact. Probably the horse's ribs, she said. Amelia loved mechanical things. Her most favorite creation was a roller coaster. The track was made of boards greased with lard. The car was empty wooden crate. With a little help, Amelia climbed into the crate and launched herself down the track. At the end, the car flew into the air and crashed to the ground. Amelia was too excited to be hurt. Oh, Pidge, she cried. It's just like flying. Amelia also loved adventure, even if it was imaginary. Her grandmother's barn was a perfect place for such thrills. She and Pidge, along with some cousins, would climb into an old carriage in the barn. Together, the group went on many wild and exciting trips without ever leaving that barn. Giddy up, old girl, Amelia yelled. These bandits are hot on our trail. Yee-haw! cried Muriel. As a child, Amelia learned to stay calm, even in scary situations. She had a large black dog named James Ferocious. One day, some boys teased him. Lunging and snarling, James broke his chain and chased the boys. They scrambled to the top of the shed for safety. Amelia heard the boys yelling and came running to help. James Ferocious, you naughty dog, she said in a soothing voice. You tipped over your water dish. Come along and I'll get you some more. This did the trick. James trotted after Amelia to the house. Amelia was not only calm, she was brave too. Muriel and Amelia sometimes traveled with their parents by train. During one trip, it rained and rained. The land near the train began flooding. As the train inched along, some passengers began to panic. Seeing the water, Muriel turned to her sister and asked, Are you afraid, Mealy? Of course not, said Amelia. Amelia saw her first airplane when she was 10 years old. The first airplane flight had taken place just a few years before, and the airplane Amelia saw was a simple looking machine. It's a thing of rusty wire and wood, she noted. It's not at all interesting. Little did Amelia know that 10 years later she would make airplanes the focus of her life. Although Amelia was an active child, she also liked to sit and read and think. She especially liked to think about what she might be when she grew up. True to form, Amelia wasn't interested in becoming a teacher, a nurse, or a housewife. I want to be able to do what men do, she said. During that time, many jobs were thought to be men's jobs. Amelia kept a scrapbook of newspaper clippings about women who were successful in areas such as advertising, law, and mechanical engineering. As a grown woman, Amelia did things that women never did. She took flying lessons and she bought her own plane, which she named the Canary. Amelia was picked to be the first female passenger on a transatlantic flight. Soon after her flying career took off, she flew regularly, entered races, and spoke to others about flying. Amelia's husband, George Putnam, organized her flights and scheduled the public talks she gave. In 1932, Amelia became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. It was a tough trip, more than 2,000 miles long. Amelia grew tired during the journey. The plane's fuel tank leaked. At one point, flames shot out of the engine, but that didn't rattle Amelia. Almost 15 hours after Amelia had started, she landed in Ireland. Her transatlantic flight was a historic achievement. Amelia had become one of the greatest aviators in the world. Although many of her journeys were difficult, she never lost the fun loving, can do attitude she had as a child. For years, Amelia had dreamed of flying along Earth's equator until she had circled the globe. In June 1937, she set out to accomplish her dream. By July, she traveled more than 22,000 miles. But on July 2nd, 1937, Amelia vanished, along with her navigator, Fred Noonan. It is most likely that she ran out of fuel while looking for a landing site. For days, the U.S. government searched for Amelia and Fred, but they were never found. Amelia Earhart led by being an example to others. As a child, she showed determination to herself, and as she grew older, she stayed true to what she believed. Women must try to do things as men have tried, she said. When they fail, their failure must be a challenge to others. Today, people are still inspired by Amelia Earhart's life of bravery and accomplishment. Explorers, I hope you've enjoyed this book as much as I have, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the books we have shared with you for Women's History Month. Have a great day.